those were two experiences, but I think the most significant experience was when I normalized diplomatic relations with China. And at the banquet that night, when Deng Xiaoping and I were there, we had signed about 100 agreements during the brief visit that he made the first, about the end of January 1979. And he finally said, Mr. President, you've done a lot for the people of China. What can I do for you? And I said, well, you've signed a lot of agreements with the United States, and I appreciate that. He said, no, I mean something personally that we might do for you. And I said, well, as a matter of fact, when I was a child, our heroes in the Plains Baptist Church were missionaries to China. And now you don't permit worship in China. And I know your communist beliefs involve atheism. And you don't permit Bibles to be distributed in China. And you don't permit missionaries to come to China. So that's my personal request of you, that you let those three things happen. And he was very surprised. And he said, I'll give you my answer tomorrow. So the next morning we had breakfast together, and he said, I thought about that. And he said, we're not going to let missionaries come back to China, because when they were here, they considered themselves superior to Chinese people. They tried to change our culture as well as our religious faith. So no more missionaries in China. But I've decided to let Bibles be printed and distributed in China. And I've decided to ask our Parliament, when it meets, to guarantee freedom of worship. So in 1982, which is 3 years later, they did that. And now freedom of worship is guaranteed in China. And I read an article in a news magazine recently that the #1 producers of Bibles are in China, and the fastest growing Christian nation on earth is, guess, China. China now has the 3rd largest number of Christians on earth, and in the near future, I'd say within 10 years, China will have more Christians than any other nation in the world. So witnessing to people who are different from us